Hello, everybody. This is Pete from PA Labs, and today I'm going to kick off a new series of videos on a subject that's actually pretty near and dear to my heart. You see, back in the 1970s, early 70s, when I was in high school, I was a member of the Houston War Game Club. And every Friday night, I would drive in from the north side. I lived about 40 miles north of the city up by Spring. And I would drive all the way into the city, way down to Meyerland, and it took about 45 minutes to an hour to drive in. And we would meet at a little hobby shop called Mall Hobbies, and there were 8 or 10, 12 of us, depending on a night, depending on what was scheduled for the night. Well, we would all get together and play war games from about 7 o'clock at night till the wee hours of the morning, 5 or 6 in the morning on a Saturday morning. And we did every kind of game that you could imagine, from diplomacy, Avalon Hill, Stalingrad. We did France 1940. We refought battles of the Civil War, Gettysburg. Um, we had a few people that were into Napoleonic miniatures, and the owner of Mall Hobbies, who was an avid game player. We would all he had 2 ping pong tables, and we would clear out a section of the room and put the ping pong tables together, and then they would play Napoleonic miniatures on the table for hours and hours. One time I know we had a complete battle of Trafalgar, ship to ship, uh, reenacted on the table, and that lasted, oh my goodness, it must have been a 6, 7 hour game before it finally ended. But normally we would start the evenings with a game that required many people, and as people were eliminated from play, they would branch off and go play naval miniatures or go play Stalingrad or some other game, North Africa, the Africa Corps, War in the East, War in the West. Those are classic games. So the other day I was kind of kicking around saying, well, I wonder if I can revisit my MapMaker. I originally wrote a MapMaker for a game that came out not too long ago. And I wanted this one to be more in line with the Avalon Hill style of gaming. And I wanted it to include both types of hexes. If you notice, these hexes are very different. This hex here is oftentimes referred to as a pointy top hex. I refer to it as a vertical hex because of the 2 vertical sides to the hex itself, as opposed to this one. This hex over here, this grid, would be horizontal hexes because of the side-to-side major feature of the grid itself. Here you can go north and south straight as an arrow. Here you can go east and west straight as an arrow. Some games play better this way, some play better this way. But I didn't want to stop there. I also wanted it to include square hexes, not that they're hexes, but squares, to include platform games. Because if you're going to build a tiler, a map, grid making game to make maps, you can't exclude square. And there's a lot of platform type gamers out there, and so this is the third style of map that the product supports. I have a graphics here that I used in the manual of this to identify my reference to the different styles of hexes, vertical hex versus horizontal hex versus square. So you can see how flat top and pointy top are both as well accurate. So what I wanted to do, uh, why have it running? I'm going to go ahead and close this down. So what I'm going to do right now is launch the tool. Uh, so it takes a minute, depending. I built three different splash screens, which pop up, and you can choose. You can see the different styles. But the initial screen on this isn't anything really to write home about. It's a data grid, and I chose that the level of this product is going to be at a game level. Now, a game level, let's think about that for just a second. A game can be like Stalingrad, where it's only the, extreme uh, Eastern Europe for the Operation Barbarossa that was put on by the Nazis in World War II back in 41. And the goal of the entire game is to take Stalingrad, defeat the Russian army. Well, that entire game is one map. If you actually played a campaign game of the American forces versus the Japanese forces in World War II, you would need to have numerous maps of the various islands and the actual naval engagement areas for someone to play. So a game can be a single objective, single map, or it can be many, many maps. Okay. Now, I chose to say we're going to start this at a game level. And so what we're going to do is open up the game that I actually mapped out. I actually built a map and have it in here for you to see. And it takes a minute to load. And I'll explain why in a second. But it takes, oh, goodness. I don't know how long was that? 20 seconds to load, which is kind of outrageous, I admit. But a map, that's what this one thing is a map. And we can have many maps. Each map has layers. Okay, as a rule, you have the graphic layer, of which you can have numerous graphic layers. You have labels such as Cash Town down here, or I think I threw in Lake Conroe down here. So those layers of the map are labels that cross grid boundaries. Okay, so you have the grid itself, whether you actually want to see the grid or not see the grid. And then you have maybe you have units, maybe you have artillery units, maybe you have ships, maybe you have towns, and what's the resources at towns that you can layer in here. Okay, there's no limit, there's no maximum to the number of layers a map can have. So you can choose to view various layers. Initially, everybody's visible, but like I can turn off the various layers of the game, and there goes the grid. So you can actually come back in and rather quickly have the screen repaint and show you this. So this particular map is 20 by 25. The representation size that is being displayed on the screen is a hex size of 64 by 64. The choice that I chose for the grid style is a hex horizontal. Movement on the map can be north and south straight, but east and west will never be straight. Okay. Now, as I move my cursor across the screen, you'll see the row and column identifying where my cursor is with regards to the actual map itself. Okay. So you can track where things are. So you have a panel over here that's made up of various tabs. each tab actually coincides to a map layer. So if I select label, I'm automatically on label. If I select graphics, this guy throws back to graphics. We have a list of all the sprite sheets here. As you select the sprite sheet, the sprite tiles show up here for you to be able to look at and decide what you want to do. Labels are distinctly listed here as to where, what the actual labels on the map are. And then you can tweak placement. You can add new ones. Classes, I'm going to wait and get into classes later. Distinct, this is keeping track of all the graphics that you've used on the map, and each of these individual cells are made up of multiple graphics depending on the image that you want to represent. So each cell has up to, I don't know, as many as you need, 5, 6 sometimes layers of graphics that stack together that make the resulting image that is the map. So up here, you can modify your map names. Over here, you can modify your game name. You can change the rows and columns here. And then we have the menu structure at the top. So that completes the overview of the game interface itself. And the next video, what I'm going to do is pick up, and instead of showing you an existing map that is in the system, I'm going to start with, let's create a map from scratch. And I don't know what it'll end up being, but we'll find out together, okay?